Hello friends, welcome to the AngularJS tutorial part 5. So in this tutorial we will be seeing how a controller thing works with AngularJS. My name is Alexander Jesus Jean. I am the director of IC Technologies and our website is ictechnologies.in. Our contact number is 9952762769 and you can drop us an email at ic.ictechnologies.in. Coming to AngularJS, so till in part 1 we saw how to get AngularJS into your script, and part 2 we saw how to initialize or how to start working with AngularJS. In part 3 and part 4 we saw some directives and some filters. Now it's part 5 and we will be seeing how to use controllers or what are the use of controllers, right? So controller, basically you need to understand what's a controller and what's a view. A view is what the user sees, right? And controller is injects or passes data to the view, right? Both are kept at a separate file so that it adds a extra level of security, right? We used to do it in backend programming, but has come to reality in client side programming, right? So controller is used to pass data to the view, and the user or the client, the web browser, will not have any data in the HTML file. We are going to separate these two files, right? So let's go to our code. So before we start to code, I always suggest to copy and paste a working control syntax, right? It avoids you to start with a syntax error, right? It involves lot of lot of brackets and flower brackets, so you don't miss anything over it, right? So we will start to code, right? So we got our coding sheet here. It's index.html, and we got our Mozilla Firefox here, right? So what we will do is we will have a paragraph tag, right? And then we'll say the paragraph tag to display a variable called my name. Okay, instead of my variable, we'll have it as my name, right? So when you refresh it, you'll have nothing because my name is not displayed anywhere. So normally what we do is we used to initialize it, init equals my name equals Alexander, right? So these are just examples, and when it comes into reality you will be working at a different set of values, right? This is what we do at the initial stages. Now we are not going to use any initial value here, right? So this value is not passed to the user, this value is not passed to the client, right? So here we will open a script tag, right? Within the script tag we will write some Java code, variable app equals, and before that you need to specify what is your app here, right? So I just give variable my app equals my first app, right? So my app equals angular.module, right? And then this is a module, you know, you can just take it as a separate block of code which fits into this Angular app, right? So you just give you this name, my first app, right? And then give an array of values, right? And we will be seeing this what we will be spelling out here. That's a different sector, right? For time being we'll have say that this is a Angular module, right? Close it to the semicolon, and for this module we are going to create a controller. So app dot controller, right? So this app will be equal to this one, angular dot module, right? This module is for my first app, where my first app is specified over here in line number 8, right? Kindly understand, this angular module is a plug that is going to fit with my first app, and my first app is mapped with line number 8 of this our HTML file, right? So app dot controller, so you need to give a name, controller name, right? So you will call it as my first controller, right, comma function, right? Something is missed, right, comma function. I'll just give enter so that I will not miss any brackets here. Okay, after function will have two brackets and then a flower bracket. A flower bracket is closed, and this one is here, right? Make sure you are not missing out any brackets, right? So just give a semicolon, right? And passing variables between the script and the HTML file in Angular is happening with $scope, right? Anything where any variable, if you want to take it from here to the JavaScript script file or to the controller, you need to use a function called $scope, right? So just mention $scope dot my name equals Alexander, or I'll give Angular JS, right? So if I mention $scope, which means that this function is transferred from this JavaScript file to this file, right? You understand the difference, right? Now we need to map our controller here, right? So just give ng hyphen controller equals, double quote, sorry, my first controller. Take care of your cases, right? What you type, and that's it, right? Remember this $scope, you need to mention this $scope, right? So go here and refresh it. You got this variable angular.js. See, it's here angular.js. You need to always end it up with semicolon. It worked because we have any line after this, so this got worked, right? So now if you just go to your source file, and if you see, you got only, you will be getting only this script file will be taken to another file, right? Which means the only this value is given to, only the value from the script file is being passed to our client to view, right? So we'll just have this one in a separate file, right? Just copy and paste it, sorry, just copy it and paste it over here, and then save it in my desktop. Okay, in my desktop here in this folder, in the JS folder, my controller.js, right? So it's got my controller.js. Now what we'll do is we'll delete this file, right? And then go here and then give script src equals js slash my controller.js, alright. So if I refresh it, it still works, right? If I change anything over here, one second, if I change anything over here, Alexander, right, in this controller file, it will be automatically reflected here, alright. So this gives an additional security, right? If you see the source, you won't see the source, right? Because this file is actually a read file, right, by the client. So this is a advantage of having a separate controller file, right? Using a controller file you can actually pass the values to the viewer, right? So that's all about the controller. We'll be seeing a lot of functions with controller and with some of the filters also, and that will be more interesting. Having a bunch of codes, will be having a 1 or 2 lines of codes that makes your life easier when you are trying to code it up, right? We'll see some of the functions with controller, and in the next one we will see how arrays are dealt, right? And we will see how we can take a variable from an array, right? Thank you.